So, I just want to come on here and talk about my experiences as um, a Scorpion moon, having my moon in Scorpio. Um, Before I even get started, I just like to say I'm not an astrologer. I'm not an astrologer. I wish I was, and I feel like I can be. I've always been into astrology, but I only knew my sun sign, and I recently got my chart done, and ever since I've kind of just been fascinated with this, and I've been just researching the hell out of it. And I must say, it's very telling and it's very interesting. But before I go in, I just want to say, we're all different. We're all different. Uh, Things like your socio-economic background, your cultural background, the region of the planet that you've grown up in and that you reside in, your religion, and also other metaphysic and esoteric ideologies factor into who you are. So just because um, we may share some of the same placements in a chart, we can honestly be living two completely different lives, living in two completely different worlds. So, like I said, I'm not an astrologer, so just don't take my word for gospel. But like I said, I just got my chart done. I am a Leo sun with a Leo rising with a Scorpio moon. And I must say that um, out of everything, what's resonated with me the most, especially now in my life, is having my moon in Scorpio. Um, I share the same sun and moon signs with Miss Gabrielle Union, Miss Jennifer Lopez, Miss Mila Kunis, who I'm all fans of, and I also did a little bit of research, and I'm also share the same sun and moon sign with Chuck D of Public Enemy, which that explains a lot because we're both kind of just rebels and just trying to go against the system, so that explains a lot. And also with Gabrielle Union, Jennifer Lopez, and Mila Kunis, like we both share the same sun and moon signs, and it's kind of like they kind of just ooze sexuality without even trying. And I'm not saying that I do, but I kind of do. Okay, because I have no problem attracting these bees like honey. Okay, that's not a problem. Well, it can be at times, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is, uh, like I said, my experiences uh, with having Moon and Scorpio. And when I found out about it, and one thing about being a Moon Scorpio is that we can be really obsessive about things, and I believe that to be very true. Because once I found out, I'm like, okay, I need to know more about this. I need to know more. I need to know more. So I'm looking at reading every single article that has to do with Moon and Scorpio, and watching every damn video on YouTube that has the title Moon and Scorpio in it. And I can almost guarantee if you're watching this video, you did too. Cuz on a lot of the videos you see pretty much the same damn people commenting on the video. So I realize that we can be very obsessive in that way. But one thing I wanted to talk about was a video that I came across, which was which kind of it didn't annoy me. Okay, it did. It annoyed me a little bit. It annoyed me a little bit. It didn't like piss me off, but it annoyed me a little bit. It was this one chick, and she was just pretty much making a video on explaining all the traits about Moon Scorpio. And something that she said was, you know, I'm watching all these videos about the Scorpion moon, and all of them talk so negatively about us, and they say that we're so emotional and we're so deep and we're so sensitive. And if they know that we're so sensitive, then why would they talk negatively about us? You know, which could possibly prompt us to feel bad about ourselves. And you know, when she said that, I'm kind of like, yeah, you definitely made a great point. That's definitely a great point. But the thing is, I've only been, like I said, I've always been interested in astrology. But when it comes to my natal chart and reading about the planets and the houses, I've literally only been researching this shit for not even a week. And I already understand that having Scorpio and your moon, having your moon placed in Scorpio, you need to understand that you will be shitted on. And that's just what it is. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying that you should accept it or respect it at all. I'm just saying that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I like to compare the Scorpio moon to a strong woman who ends up being somehow ends up being in an abusive relationship. It's sort of like the movie Enough. It's sort of like the movie Enough. And it's so crazy that it's Sergeant Jennifer Lopez who has moon in Scorpio. You know, in my personal opinion, I feel like people shit on moon Scorpios because we have a innate power. We have a strong presence, a strong energy without even trying. And I compare pretty much anybody who's not a moon Scorpio. I hate to generalize everyone, but I just have to. That's probably the fixed the fixed aspect of just Scorpio in general. But it's almost like people see you and they see how innately strong you are. Even if you're not you know an aggressive person. Me having a Leo sun and a Leo rising, I already know I'm just an aggressive person. But at the same time, I'm very calculated because people think that, like, oh, you're so open and you're just so this and so that. I'm only like that because I want to be that way. I'm only like that because I want to be that way, you know. But people see you and they get intimidated, and a lot of people's first response to that is like a weak man dealing with a strong woman. I have to break this bitch. I have to break this bitch because this bitch is just too strong. She's too confident. I have to break her. That's how a lot of the moon Scorpio. Okay, a perfect example. You know, which is so crazy because I don't have the best relationship with my mother. I don't. I just don't. You know, a lot of shit has went down in my life. A lot of unforgivable shit. Which I know if I ever want to rise to be a phoenix, I have to forgive her for it. You know, that shit. But it's hard. But My mother wasn't the nurturing type. My mother really didn't teach me anything. I kind of had to learn shit on my own. I kind of have had to develop my own skills on my own. And, you know, recently my mother even told me, she was like, my mother had me when she was young. And she told me straight up, she was like, I just didn't know what to do with you. I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do. You were my first child, and on top of that, you're a boy, or you were a boy, and I didn't know what to do. And, I feel like people who have the moon in Scorpio, we kind of have this innate thing of like, I know what I'm doing. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm gonna get better at it. I'm gonna, how can I explain it? Almost this innate sense of independence. Like I said, my mother didn't teach me a lot. My mother didn't support me with anything that I wanted to do. I had to make my own way for a lot of things. Whether it been like an extracurricular activity that I wanted to participate in, I had to find a ride back and forth to school so I can participate. You know, I had to figure out how I was going to get all of my materials. I had to do everything. And I'm just going to keep it real. I feel like my mom saw that. She's like, "Damn, I'm not even teaching this boy nothing. I'm not even nurturing him. I'm not even really raising him. But this little nigga is doing his own thing without me even having to help him. So I can only imagine how it's going to be when he gets older. So I hope this little nigga don't think that when he get older, he about to be running shit. So from that point, I'm going to break this motherfucker down. I gotta let this motherfucker know that he ain't running shit around here. I am. That's how people treat Moon Scorpios. Growing up, I was pretty much like a fucking slave. And it's so crazy because I have two younger siblings who I pretty much had to take care of because my mom was always just either working or just out or just doing her own thing. And it's funny because I used to have to do all the chores in the house. I used to have to clean. I used to have to cook. I used to have to do laundry. But it's so funny because my mom never taught me how to do any of that shit. She just told me to do it, and I had to do it. It wasn't like, okay, let me show you how to do this, and now you do it. All it was, you do that. And I had to figure it the fuck out. And I think it kind of scared her. I think she just used to test me in that kind of way. Just to see, like, and I really think at a young age, my mother was intimidated by me. She was scared of the fact that I was so independent at a young age. Especially with her knowing the fact that she never supported me. So being a Moon Scorpio, we have an innate sense of independence. We have an innate sense of power, an innate sense of confidence, even if you don't necessarily express it outwardly. And people are intimidated by that shit. So they feel like they need to break you. They feel like, okay, this motherfucker is just not gonna budge. This motherfucker's just always keep a poker face. This motherfucker is stone cold. people are intimidated by that. You know what I mean? And you know, another thing about being a moon Scorpio is